Chapter 5. Acts of God. Ah! I jolted awake. Someone was rattling my box. Annabelle? No! I cried. Alvin? Came my dad's voice through the holes. What are you doing in Annabelle's nap place? Wah! I wailed. Wah! Crying is great. You always feel better afterward, especially when you've traveled 400 years round trip in a small enclosed time machine. What happened to you? My dad asked, ripping open the book with his bare hands, or the box with his bare hands. My dad is da dad. He's saved my life at least 714 times 8, and mostly in the nick of time, right as I come upon the pearly gates and take a number to stand in line and wait my turn. I didn't know where to begin, so I didn't. Instead, I fell like candy from a wrapper into my dad's arms and sobbed, and he hugged me back like I was the best thing he'd ever found in a box. My dad isn't a superhero, but he can pull me out of anything, even from long, tangled boa constrictors that were squeezing the last wheeze out of me. You get yourself into such binds, he said, peeling the straitjacket off of me. You're my best friend, Dad. You saved my life. Then I told him all about traveling in the time machine and meeting Henry David Thoreau. It was really creepy, I said, sniffling, but Henry was okay. He really loved nature, Dad. He collected specimens. He had eggs that we tried hatching and a big book on birds and a walking stick. He said his dad took him camping and hiking all the time. Of course, I left out the part about getting egg on my butt on account of it was way too embarrassing. My dad didn't say anything. He just listened. My mom says she married him because he's such a great listener. You can drop all your words into his ears for safekeeping and none of them will ever get lost. I think it has something to do with being a gentleman. My dad knows all the rules, but I'm not really sure. I don't remember. Son, my dad finally said it. I love it when he calls me that. Son. I love it more than my own name. My dad's eyes were as shiny as pennies in vinegar. Henry's father gave him a wonderful gift, he continued. A gift every father should give his children. What gift? I asked. I like gifts. A love of nature, said my dad. That's a gift? One of the finest, said my dad. To know and appreciate nature is the key to a lifetime of discovery. My dad looked at me. I looked at my dad. I know nature, I said. It was true. I watch it all the time on TV. There's nothing I don't know about nature. Earthquakes, landslides, mudslides, floods, hurricanes, tsunamis, tornadoes, volcanic eruptions, meteorites. When it comes to nature, I'm practically an entire website. Why don't you and I go camping this weekend, son? Camping? It would be good for you to be in the great outdoors, said my dad. You will learn some skills. It will give you confidence. You'll see that the woods is not such a scary place. Gulp. Fall is the best time to camp, my dad continued. Spring's too wet, summer's too hot, winter's too cold, but in the fall, the leaves are showing off their colors. The days are still warm. The air is crisp. It was my favorite time to camp when I was about your age. They used to call me One Match Jack, my dad added, puffing out his chest. Do you know why? I shook my head. His name wasn't Jack. Because I could start a fire with one match, he said. One match. Imagine that. My dad looked at me. You can do that too, he said. We'll make our own shelter, catch our own fish. I'll even show you how to make a pit toilet. A pit what? It may be the beginning of a lifelong hobby, said my dad. You could come back a changed man. But I'm not a man, I squeaked, and we might not come back at all. We could get lost in the leaves. There could be a freak blizzard and we could get lost in the snow, or a flash flood and we could be drowned, or we could get struck by lightning. We could die by meteorite. Silence. My dad looked stunned. His mouth opened, but nothing came out. They're called acts of God, Dad, I said. And when they happen, they happen. And the next thing you know, you're at the pearly gates with a number in your hand waiting to get in. Don't worry, my dad began. Don't worry, I said. Millions die at once in an act of God. It's the worst way to go. We could be in line forever. In line? Asked my dad. To get into heaven, I said. You're not going to heaven, said my dad. You're only going camping. I'm not? I swallowed. Not going to heaven? It was the worst news I'd ever heard.